would like to turn our attention to Major League Soccer, because while the outcome was happening, MLS was also having their decision day. And I think, Oliver Platt, the happiest MLS club in Canada will be Montreal, because they're hosting a playoff game with a great run into the season. They make a couple of big splashes, sending players out towards that final 20% of the year, and things really seem to click at Stade Saputo. And well, I think they know they're up against it in this playoff format. I think they'll be satisfied to be there and with a shot.
Yeah, look, they've done well to turn it around from where it was a few weeks ago. I'm going to be honest, guys. I struggle to get particularly excited about 8th place and a playing game. I still think this team has a lot of work to do. But look, Caden Clark's worked out. He's been a huge success. We're seeing players like Nathan Saliba are very exciting and coming through on a consistent basis at this club now. That's a foundation. That's something to build on. Again, I wouldn't be, singing from the rooftops that this club has quite figured it out just yet, but they've made the playoffs and I think have a platform to build on for next season.
Well, the most exciting part about finishing 8th and playing a playing game, they're 1 win away from a series against Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. That's huge here. And look, this team at the end of August got smashed 5-0 at home to the Revolution and lost 4-1 to FC Cincinnati. Since that time, they went 5-1-1. That's an incredible turnaround. They played some bad teams, but still, they got the job done. They got rid of Chouanier, Lassiter, and Rouen, brought in Caden Clark. This guy's 21. He was with Leipzig, didn't score in 23 with Minnesota, and bagged 4 in his last 9. Like, they did it with kids. Alvarez is 21. Marshall Ruddy from TFC is just a kid as well. Bryce Duke, Nathan Saliba. They stuck with their philosophy. You know their formation. You know the way they play. This is a big win for a club that simply looked down and out. I'm thrilled for everyone involved with Montreal.
Well, tomorrow, that's Tuesday, they host Atlanta United, and like Gareth says, they know the carrot on the other side of that match. So another MLS club, that should be hosting a playoff game, and I suppose technically are, even though they're not, is Vancouver Whitecaps. A couple of ways to attack this one. They will open their playoffs in the play-in round as well, but they'll be away from BC Place, kind of like how they started the season with CONCACAF Champions Cup, hosting a game on Vancouver Island at Starlight Stadium. They're going south of the border this time, Gareth, and while you could say, how ridiculous is it that they're not hosting a playoff game when they should be, and it is, the question could probably also be asked, how did the Canadian champions get to this position?
Yeah. Everyone involved with the Vancouver Whitecaps should be super cross about the situation that they find themselves in. This is what happens when you don't have control of your own stadium. Infrastructure, a massive problem across Canadian soccer. This is part and parcel. This is the reason right here. But beyond that, they should never have had to play Wednesday. No wins in their last 7 games in Major League Soccer. 2 draws and 5 losses, outscored 6-14 in the process. It's just brutal. Their last win came against the lowly San Jose Earthquakes back in mid-September. It's been bad. This is a team that really should have finished in the top 4 in the conference. So now they've caused this own problem. Now they're going to be underdogs, in my opinion, against 4 really good attacking players in Portland: Rodriguez, Evander, Mora, and Anthony. They combined for 51 goals on the season. So they're going to be up against it, but they're the writers of their own failures here. Like, this is on them. They capitulated down the stretch.
Ollie.
Yeah, they're continuing to struggle to prove that they can beat good teams in the Western Conference. And that's obviously a gigantic issue now when you head into the playoffs. Like, they had this stretch at the end of the season where it felt like they would have that opportunity to get some results against the teams around them, build some confidence going into the playoffs and secure a decent seeding. And they just completely flopped. And they end the season 9-3-1 against the teams below them in the West, and 3-2-10 against teams above them. Like, it's a shocking difference, I think, between what they do in the games that they're expected to win and what they do in the games that are a bit closer. And they just have to get better in those matches.
Adam, really quickly, they're actually a better away side than they are at home.
Yeah.
They picked up 3 more points away from home and one of the best defensive teams in Major League Soccer. So, I mean, they stunk at BC Place anyways on this season. So we expected more from this group. Honestly, they should be better. Now they're going to have to go do it the hard way.
Yeah, let's see if they can get that fire lit underneath them. Providence Park against the Timbers on Wednesday, their match, which means we'll have a lot to talk about on Thursday's edition of One Soccer Today for the Major League Soccer clubs in Canada, still in contention. Time to get to today's Visa Women's Football Report. Presented by Visa, our women's football report. And this morning, we learned the answer to a Northern Super League trivia question. Who was the first ever player signing in league history? It is, of course, Jade Kovacevic, one of the most prolific goal scorers in League One Ontario in recent memory. Most recently with the North Toronto Nitros, she is a 4-time MVP, a 5-time Golden Boot winner, and has amassed nearly 100, or I think slightly more than 170 goals in League One Ontario. So she will be staying in Toronto. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to AFC Toronto. And hey, anytime Fabrizio Romano can say your name out loud is a pretty good day. So congratulations to the 30-year-old Jade Kovacevic, the first ever signing in Northern Super League history. Today's Visa Women's Football Reports. We will continue, of course, to keep an eye on all the transactions and news from the Northern Super League and everything else happening across women's football. To today's Tonybet top picks, and then it's time to sign off for the program. These are our top picks. They are presented by Tonybet. 3 of them in UEFA Champions League, and then a little gift for Ollie Plot if we have the time. Gareth Wheeler, let's start with you. Atletico Madrid versus Lille. Not just the match and the outcome there, pun intended, but how about Jonathan David plus 340 as an anytime goal scorer?
I'm not buying it. I love myself some Jonathan David right now. Difficult run of fixtures back to back against Madrid sides, Real Madrid, then Atletico Madrid. Problem is that Atleti doesn't concede at home. They just don't. They're undefeated at home in the season. They've conceded 2 goals, and they've an expected goals against of like 2.67 in like 5 games.
Wow.
So they don't give up chances. So it's going to be tough for Lille and Atletico Madrid to come away with anything here. I'm going to play under 2.5 in this game. I think it's going to be tight. It's going to be cagey. It's going to be close. I take the under 2.5 in this one.
Oliver Platt, let's go to you with Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Plus 134 for the Spaniards, plus 179 for the Germans with a Canadian splash of content as well.
This is a good game, maybe a better game than it has been in recent years between these two clubs. I am going to go with the away side, though. I really like this Bayern Munich team this season, so I'm going to back them.
Barcelona's on fire. They have so many injuries.
I know.
The metrics are all on their side. If you want to play, just avoid backing a team in this one. Over 3.5. Like 3.5 is a lot of goals, but these teams, like they go over the total every game. It seems like the rare exception was Bayern Munich, Aston Villa, but there was 4 goals on the weekend. Look at Barcelona. They just beat Sevilla 5-1. Every game is like 4 or 5 or 6 goals scored in their game. So I like over the total in this one. Could be fireworks here.
Ollie, when we think about the company you keep, we know you're a big MK Dons fan. Minus 152 against Accrington Stanley.
Company I keep?
Who?
Oh, am I trying to segue from Bayern Munich?
Oh, gotcha. Good one. Look, we're back. We got a new manager, Scott Lindsay. He's really rejuvenated the group. So you should back the home team here. MK Dons minus 152. No question.
Tommy McGill clean sheet.
He's excellent. Very good goalkeeper.
Get a little parlay going there on the Dons, and if you lose, you can join in on Oliver's consistent heartbreak. One soccer today for this Monday, October the 21st. We will see you on Wednesday for CPL Plays.